Welcome back, aspiring chemists, and today I'm going to teach you how you can make vinegar at home, whether it's for consumption or whether it's for scientific purposes. So we're going to be making this vinegar from a fruit, utilizing the chemical process called fermentation. And as you already know, I'll explain this process more elaborately in another video. So let's just skip to the experiment part. So let's get to the matter of today. I will show you how to make vinegar by using very simple materials, because that's the thing. In all my videos, I try to use the simplest materials so that my viewers will be able to also replicate such experiments at home. And remember, under adult supervision. And before I proceed, I would like to remind you guys to subscribe to my videos, because when you do, you will be notified of my latest videos. Because, for example, this video, I already released another video showing us how to purify vinegar at home. So when you subscribe, you will be notified about all those type of videos. You'll be able to follow up on different videos in different series. And whenever you gain value from my videos, you can also like them, because that also motivates me to continue giving you more useful content. In this video, we're going to be using pineapple fruits to make the vinegar, and I already have bark of pineapple here. As you can see, I've broken these barks into tiny little pieces, and if you want to use the pineapple fruit itself, you can do that because it just gets more concentration. But the reason why I'm going to this method is so as to recycle the bark, so we don't just throw them away, because we can also get important vinegar from this. And the next stuff you have is a suitable container that can hold all your pieces of pineapple. You also want to add sugar if you plan to increase the concentration of your vinegar. And the last and very important material is just plain old water. So let's get to the procedures. If you want to consume a vinegar, all you have to do is to wash the pieces of pineapple, wash your container, and make sure you're using clean water. But if you're just making it for the scientific purposes or chemical purposes, you can use your pieces of pineapple right away. So to begin, you just simply put your pieces of pineapple into the container, and when you're adding it, you make sure you do not fill it completely to the brim, because there will be a little space for water. As you can see, there are some spaces within the container, so you might want to be pressing them down so that you don't end up wasting the space you have in your container. You keep adding until you are done with your pineapple pieces, until a very small amount of space is left at the top of the container. Okay, I think I'll leave it right now and just add a few little pieces. There's a small space left on top, and I still have some pieces of pineapple left, so I'll just ignore this one. Okay, I'm done putting my pineapple pieces in the container, and as you can see, there's still a little more space left in the container. So I'm moving on to the next ingredient, which is sugar. Sugar is very important in the fermentation process, so that's why I'm going to add a little more sugar so I can increase the concentration of my vinegar. So let's get to the sugar. I'll just add a few spoons of sugar to my mixture. The sugar helps to increase the concentration of the vinegar. You don't need to add much because sugar is already contained in the pineapple itself. And the last ingredient here is water. So all I have to do is just to add water until I reach nearly the brim of the pineapple pieces. You want to give a little space between the pineapple pieces and the brim of the container, because as the future reactions occur, That space is very important if you don't want to make a whole lot of mess. Okay, now you want to seal this container with a piece of cloth or a fabric so that the bubbles released in this reaction will escape and insects will not get into your reaction. You like to use a band or rubber band to tighten it at the end and take it outside so that the reaction can proceed meaningfully. And I'm going to revisit it the next day. This is the second day of my reaction, and if you notice, look a little closely at the container, you'll see that the gases are being released. All these gases are summed up here, and these gases released are carbon dioxide gas, as they are a byproduct. They are a byproduct of the main chemical being formed there, which is ethanol, and we want to make vinegar. So what we need now is not that ethanol, but we need ethanoic acid, which is vinegar. So what we do is that we have to leave this to keep making bubbles until it's done with its production of bubbles. When it's done with production of bubbles, then another process will begin, and when that process begins, I'll show you what it looks like. I'm so sorry about my camera. My camera wasn't so clear. So it is that carbon dioxide gas was being released during the reaction, but that reaction is over now because I've given it at least 2 weeks. So we're down to this next step of the reaction. It basically looks the same though, but what we're going to do here now is that we're going to remove all the pineapple pieces from inside this container so that we will have our clear, I would say clear, just a filtered solution of this vinegar so that we can prepare for the next process. This is our filtrate, and as you can clearly see, the water that we put to begin was only half, 50% of the whole container because it only reached half of the container. Now, inside this container we have here is minus all the other impurities that are colorizing this liquid. What we have here is actually ethanol, pure ethanol. All other things contained inside may be some microbes, some other impurities that came from the pineapple, but that's no problem at this stage. This ethanol is not our end product, so we have to keep this liquid to keep fermenting, and it's be fermented from ethanol into ethanoic acid by a particular microbe called yeast. Yeast ferments ethanol into ethanoic acid. So all we have to do is just to keep it to ferment for, let me say, 3 weeks, 1 month again. Then you will see a white growth that will cover the surface of the liquid due to aerobic reactions. So I'm just gonna cover the top again with this my material, seal it up with rubber and leave it to keep fermenting for, let me give it 3 weeks. And don't worry, I will show you some video clips during interval of what it looks like, and by that time we should have our ethanoic acid. I've left this reaction to proceed for about a couple of days, and as we speak we can see a clear white film that's being formed on the surface of this liquid I have here. It's not so clear, so I like to adjust my camera so that you guys can see it. This is the white film I was talking about, and if I just shake it a little, see that clear film? That is the bacteria called, and the organism called yeast, and it's a microorganism helping us to turn the ethanol containing this liquid into ethanoic acid. So all you have to do now is just to leave it for about a couple of 2 weeks, and make sure that during the time that this white film is forming, there is no brown, purple matter that's being formed inside, because that means that your vinegar is beginning to spoil. As long as it stays like this for a couple of days, all you have to do is just to filter it. This is the final step of our experiment. A lot of time has passed, and now I am satisfied with my results, and I would like to get straight to the filtration of this my little yucky liquid. You see that this yeast growing on the top of it has made it look so bad. At the bottom there's this stuff that is settled there. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to filter it, and after filtering it, we will get our, let me say, I won't say pure solution, but I would say that it'd be better than this current, current way it looks. After a long, lengthy process of my filtration, I finally got a very good pure solution of vinegar right here. So that'll be it for today, guys. And I know you people are thinking, how am I having a pure solution when I'm having a cloudy, yellowish solution, and vinegar is actually a clear solution? The thing is that after filtering the liquid, no matter how much you filter it using filter paper, this yellowish cloud will never be clear. But all those yeast and sort of going inside, you can see it's no longer inside. But the fact that this yellowish cloud is here is our problem, and there is a way to remove it. I've tried various ways, and the only way that I could come up with to remove it is by doing fractional distillation, distilling the ethanoic acid from here and condensing it in another container. Don't worry, that's not going to be a problem because I already made a video that explains how this fractional distillation will be done and shows you how you can do it and have your own pure vinegar at home. And before I go, I want to list two things that you might want to keep in mind. First is that this vinegar is very dilute. The amount of vinegar here is dilute. And the second thing is that after making this vinegar, you should always remember to shut your container and close it tight, because anytime oxygen is around the surface or comes to the surface with the vinegar, those yeast begin to grow again and start the fermentation process all over again. And we don't want our filtered liquid to become all mucky because of those white powders going inside. So we lock it and keep it. So that is it, guys. Today I would like to see on my next video where I distill this ethanoic acid to get very pure transparent vinegar, and there I will also be showing you tests of vinegar. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.